Imagine a quiet night in Northern California suddenly shattered by the sounds of gunfire. Now, picture receiving a letter from someone who knows your every move, taunting you with cryptic clues and daring you to catch them. This was the terrifying reality in the late 1960s, as a shadowy figure known only as the Zodiac began a spree that would confound authorities and chill the public to the bone. This is the story of the Zodiac, a sadistic predator whose identity remains an unsolved enigma. On a chilly December night in 1968, high school sweethearts Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday were on a date near Vallejo, California. They had parked their car on a secluded stretch of road known as a local lover's lane. As they talked, a figure approached their vehicle. Without warning, the peaceful night turned into a scene of horror. Both teens were shot at close range. Betty Lou was found outside the car, evidence suggesting she had tried to run. The brutality of the attack sent shockwaves through the community, but this was just the beginning. Fast forward to July 1969. Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau were enjoying a quiet evening in a parked car at Blue Rock Springs Park, just a few miles from the first attack. Suddenly, a car pulled up beside them. The driver stepped out, shining a flashlight into their eyes, temporarily blinding them. The assailant opened fire. Darlene succumbed to her injuries, but Michael, despite being severely wounded, survived. He provided a harrowing account of the attack and the attacker, describing him as a stocky man in his late 20s to early 30s, with curly brown hair. Just weeks later, 3 major newspapers, the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald, received the first of many letters from the assailant. Each letter began with the chilling words, "Dear Editor, this is the Zodiac speaking." The letters included detailed descriptions of the incidents, proving their authenticity. But what set these letters apart were the ciphers, complex cryptograms that the Zodiac claimed would reveal his identity. The first cipher, known as the 408 cipher, consisted of 408 characters split into 3 parts. The Zodiac demanded the ciphers be published on the front page of each newspaper, threatening further violence if his demand was not met. The urgency and fear these letters instilled were palpable. A schoolteacher named Donald Hardin and his wife, Betty, eventually cracked the 408 cipher. It read, "I like harming people because it is so much fun." However, the person's name was conspicuously absent. The other ciphers remain unsolved to this day, leaving a tantalizing puzzle that has baffled cryptographers and law enforcement alike. September 27, 1969, brought one of the most bizarre and terrifying attacks in the Zodiac spree. Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were enjoying a picnic at Lake Berryessa, a tranquil spot perfect for a relaxing afternoon. As they lay on the grass, a man wearing a hooded costume with a white cross circle symbol approached them, brandishing a gun. The hooded figure forced Brian and Cecilia to tie each other up with pre-cut lengths of rope. Then, in a chilling act of brutality, he stabbed them repeatedly before leaving them for dead. Miraculously, Brian survived and provided a detailed description of the costume and the methodical, almost detached manner of the attacker. Just weeks later, the Zodiac struck again, this time in the bustling streets of San Francisco. On October 11, 1969, cab driver Paul Stein picked up a fare in downtown San Francisco. As they reached the upscale neighborhood of Presidio Heights, the passenger shot Paul in the head. The attacker took Paul's wallet, keys, and a piece of his bloody shirt, which he later sent to the San Francisco Chronicle as proof of his deed. This attack was different. The Zodiac had moved from isolated lovers' lanes to the heart of the city, showing a brazen confidence that alarmed authorities. Witnesses in the area saw a man leaving the scene and provided a detailed description, leading to one of the largest manhunts in San Francisco's history. Despite this, the Zodiac vanished into the night, leaving behind only terror and confusion. Police searched the area extensively but found no trace of the suspect. The heightened fear and media frenzy. The Zodiac's boldness sent shockwaves through the community. His letters continued, each more taunting and chilling than the last. He threatened school buses, claiming he would pick off the kitties as they come bouncing out. Parents were terrified, and police were under immense pressure to catch him. His correspondence often included pieces of Stein's shirt, further proving his authenticity and mocking the authorities' inability to capture him. As the media frenzy grew, so did the Zodiac's legend. He played cat and mouse with law enforcement, sending more letters, making phone calls, and leaving false clues. He seemed to relish the chaos and fear he was creating, often inserting himself into the narrative through his letters. He claimed responsibility for other attacks that may or may not have been his doing, adding layers of confusion to an already complex investigation. The identity of the Zodiac remains unknown. Despite the best efforts of law enforcement, the case went cold. But the story was far from over. In the next episode, we will delve into the theories, the suspects, and the enduring mystery that keeps people searching for answers to this day.